I was a little more poetic this time around. You know, you got to be a salesman for this kind of stuff. This is the methodology for the militant and decolonial revolutionary. Our white brothers and sisters can help us, but this is for us global majority African and brown people to change the world. This is what we use to decolonize. How to know matter, how to transform matter. All right, go ahead, Dr. Ball. You guys remember this from last time? Sylvia Wynter, Mao Zedong, these are revolutionary dialecticians. What's dialectical materialism? No, that's all right, Dr. Ball, you can keep going. Shout out to Dr. Ball for introducing me to André Blouin, by the way, revolutionary Congolese woman. Dialectical materialism is just the philosophy of matter determining consciousness, and consciousness can impact matter. All right, next slide, Dr. Ball. It's the core philosophy of Marxism, Leninism, and of scientific socialism. What's materialist dialectics? Remember, you all? It's just the methodology of dialectical materialism. It's the concepts of dialectical materialism applied to our practice and to our theory in order to transform the world. A more kind of flowery, right-wing way of saying this is it's the science of universal relationships. It's the science of contradictions. It's the study of the laws of change. It's the science of mutual impacts. All right, go ahead, Dr. Ball. Remember, y'all, dialectical materialism is how we understand the world. We understand it as mind creates matter. Matter creates mind. Mind can impact matter. Materialist dialectics is how we transform the world through the 6 pairs and the 3 laws. All right, go ahead, Dr. Ball. Dialectical means mutual impact, y'all. It just refers to the fact that all matter contains contradictions, which are a temporary unity of opposing forces. That's what a mutual impact here is in this case. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. We're getting into some housekeeping, so this will be the fast section. Here's something that I recalled in my Chinese education, dialectical materialism. You all won't find this in the Vietnamese book, but it's very much parallel to what we're learning. This is what our Chinese comrades say. The 3 core elements of materialist dialectics, put a different way, is interconnection or relationships, development, motion, or change. You guys have seen this in different canons in Maurice Cornforth and USSR and Black Liberation Armies manuals. We use these words interchangeably. They're not completely interchangeable, but for here they will be. Interconnection and relationships, change, development, or motion, and contradiction. What's the meaning of these 3 things, Alkmi? Well, everything's connected. Everything's changing all the time. And the thing or the concept that connects those 2 concepts together is a type of universal relationship that exists between everything that also is responsible for all change. What is Alkmi? What's the synthesis of change and relationship? Contradiction. Contradiction is the type of universal relationship that everything contains that also is responsible for change. There's other relationships, you guys. Contradictions aren't all things, but all things contain contradictions. Those are the 3 most important things that the Chinese say is what innervates materialist dialectics. Everything's connected, everything's changing, and contradictions are why those 2 things are true. Everything's got contradictions, everything's changing because of contradictions. Go ahead, next slide, Dr. Ball. You all know this. This is just a different way to formulate the same information. In the dialectical materialist philosophical tradition, matter, not the scientific definition, matter is anything that objectively exists outside of human consciousness or mind. Consciousness is just a very special, particular type of matter that can reflect matter. Consciousness is just the reflection of matter in the human mind. A category is basically a set of shared attributes or characteristics between phenomenon or relationships. A relationship is the regulating principles, mutual interactions, and mutual transformations which exist between things like phenomena and ideas. A phenomenon is just anything observable to the human senses in the material world, including ideas and semiotics and cultural constructs. A dialectical contradiction, not the metaphysical kind that's in our everyday usage of the word, is just a temporary unity of opposing forces. A dialectical negation, we'll get to this later, is simply when one thing comes to be replaced by a new thing. So it's both a deletion and a replacement. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. Shout out to Luna Oi, Comrade Luna Nguyen, our Vietnamese comrade that did the laborious but incredibly necessary labor of translating our Vietnamese curriculum of dialectical materialism, as well as part 2. You guys can get that on her website, banyanhousepublishing.org. Historical materialism, same price, and she's working on part 3, political economy. You guys can share the links as you will, or share the slideshow with our comments to access the link. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. Ebook is free. Real book's $20. What's materialist dialectics for? Again, it's used for understanding matter so we can transform matter. The whole world is matter, including other people. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. Everything's connected and everything's defined by the relationships. Remember? And everything's changing, and this change is due to internal mutual impacts between things. That's called contradictions. Those 3 laws I'm going to get into you with today, comrades, those are going to be governing change and the architecture of change when it happens and what causes it to happen. The most important thing for us to remember here is that the second law of universal motion, comrades, this is the most important of all materialist dialectics because it's pretty much the heart of dialectical materialism. That is contradiction. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. All right, we got some Scooby-Doo again. By the way, shout out to Josh. He said, you must know Dr. Ball if you picked Scooby-Doo. I actually didn't. I just needed to find a slide that was giving a kind of negation in a kind of way, in a very culturally accessible manner. Contradiction, you guys, does not mean hypocritically being inconsistent with oneself. It does not mean a paradox. Yes, it does, but not in the dialectical materialist definition, only in our Western metaphysical usage of the word. Contradiction in the dialectical materialist definition means a temporary unity of opposing sides. That's all it means. Negation here, you all, does not mean running away from a contradiction or problem instead of resolving it, instead of confronting it or overcoming it. I apologize if I've gave that impression in my last slideshow or my last talk. That's not what it means. It may mean that in everyday usage in US and in metaphysical booker land. But negation here, you guys, just means when something stops existing and it gives rise to something new existing. We'll get more into this later. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. You guys remember me loving on Dr. Ball and how people who say he's not materialist are actually not materialist themselves for not caring about culture. We won't get into that. But I just wanted to bring you up this third graphic I brought in. Just remember that science and dialectical materialism has a relationship to each other, right, you all? They don't replace each other. Now that I've explained to you all kind of the brunt of this in the first presentation, I'll say this on a higher level now to you all. Dialectical materialism, materialist dialectics, you all, is just, it's a scientific philosophy, and philosophies are frameworks and heuristics we use to understand everything, right? Meaning, ontology, epistemology, right? Praxeology. Particular sciences, the way we understand as dialecticians, are just the laws and the dialectics and the laws and the dynamics of dialectical materialism manifesting themselves as particular sciences and as particular qualities of motions of matter on particular levels of organization of matter. What does that mean? Chemistry is the dialectics of chemicals and atoms and molecules. Biology is the dialectics of cells and metabolism and of tissues and of life forms and of ecosystems. Physics is the dialectics of mechanical impacts and friction and of processes between mechanical Newtonian motions of matter. Mathematics is, well, we won't get into this, but it's essentially the dialectics of quantity and of numbers. But do you guys see? Both are important. The relationship materialist dialectics has to sciences is the relationship that the common or the general has to the particular. Sciences are the particular way that matter manifests motion, and they have their own laws at each level that dialectical materialism can't tell you. But dialectical materialism describes and observes and studies laws that are actually applicable to all levels of matter. What does that mean, Alkmi, for my practice? Know science. And if you can't know science, at least respect science, not the book of science. Also know dialectical materialism. Don't see either as a replacement for the other, but understand that sciences are how we actually understand the concrete levels of matter in the world, of economics, of chemistry, of biology. Materialist dialectics is what helps you organize all the information that you get from sciences. All right, go ahead, Dr. Ball. We can get more into that later. Here's some housekeeping. We're going to go more into the three laws of universal motion today. Again, African family comrades, I apologize for not giving you all enough time for this. I'm being conscious and aware of negating these contradictions the second time around. I'm going to try to give a lot more time for both questions and inquiries throughout, Renee, not just at the end. I really do take myself seriously in that. I want to do better in that. I apologize for last time. And I want to give more practical examples all throughout too, more real world examples. All right, go ahead, Dr. Ball. In the longer term, you all, we will eventually be getting into the pairs, not now. Don't be scared by this either. A lot of these bullet points are just one sentences I'm going to be sharing with you. Do you guys see this map right here, this concept map? This is a zoomed in version of the materialist dialectic section of that concept map I showed Renee and Jared earlier with the highlights. What you and I and we will be getting into today, comrades, is mostly the right half of this. You see that? Just the three laws, the characteristics, that's all. Any more we can squeeze out of that? Mashallah, as our Habibis say. I'm not going for that. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. We're going to get into the pairs eventually, and then the principles eventually too. More practical applications. Go ahead, Dr. Ball. Not for now, though. That's just a visualization.